Hey guys, good morning. Happy Monday. It's Daryl here. It is 7 a.m. bright and early here in Connecticut on the East Coast. And I just had quite an epiphany. Holy cow. As I was looking over your comments, I was checking my video I just put out in the first 10 minutes. I wanted to see how it was doing, how many views I got and whatnot. I like to see the general response, immediately. What you guys, if there's a lot of views or whatever. So I'm checking out the video. And this is the video talking about Tacoma, Washington, and the police car driving over a group of people in the middle of the road. And I'm looking at that and I'm answering, there's the views are just starting to come in. And then I went to the very next video I did and I started checking some of you guys' comments on that. And that video, the one right before my last video, back to back, the one right before it was talking about the police chief's daughter, a 13-year-old at the time. She's 15 years old now. Now, this is a big story here in Connecticut. I don't know how big it is nationwide, but it was growing. And it affected this little town a lot, the little town of Naugatuck, Connecticut. This girl who's now 15, she was 13 at the time a couple of years ago, she sent a message to her friend, a boy, on Snapchat saying that her father... She's going to tell her father to drive around with his lights and sirens on and run over people. And that now he is more accustomed, more... I forgot the exact word she used. He's more adept. He's more... Her father's the police chief, and I can't remember the exact word she used. Shooting black people. I don't know how else to put it. This is what she said on the video, right? So I'm looking at these two videos, then all of a sudden, and I'm answering a comment. Now, one of the commenters said, I can't believe you're talking about, and I pinned this comment. The person said, I can't believe you're talking about this. It's a 13-year-old girl, And then I answered it. I said, well, that was kind of my point, because it's becoming a big story, and I feel rather ambiguous, even though I am very... that's one of the main things I talk about here is racism on this channel. But with this story, the way this story has been blown up about a story from, a message from a 13-year-old girl 2 years ago, the police chief's daughter, though, and its racist overtones and how it's affecting an entire town and her mother and father, who happen to be the vice principal of the high school and the police chief of the town. And this was a comment. This was what a 13-year-old girl said in a message that was supposed to be erased 2 years ago, and then was brought back to life by a 15-year-old boy whose motives aren't known. So I'm ambiguous on this whole story, and I'm stating this to this commenter. And then all of a sudden, I had this epiphany that I realized, holy cow, these two things are related here. You have this 13-year-old girl a couple of years ago talking about how she's going to tell her father, she's going to talk her father into driving over people, turning his lights and sirens on. And this actually comes to life and happens in Tacoma, Washington on Saturday night. Just as I was asking myself, on this channel, I'm not always right. Matter of fact, I'm wrong a lot of times. I want you guys' opinions. I want your input. I don't believe I'm always right. I don't believe my opinions are always right. This whole channel started with me having the wrong idea about Bo of the Fifth Column. That's how this whole channel got off the ground, was by me admitting I was stereotyping and I was wrong. So, now look at this. So, we have this story about this girl, the daughter of a police chief. She was only 13 years old. But see, once her comment, it's the way her comment is viewed across society. Now that this is a story, and yes, the media made this a story, a 13-year-old's message from 2 years ago, the police chief's daughter. And then all of a sudden, it becomes very relevant as we actually have a policeman with his lights and sirens on, driving over a bunch of people in the middle of an intersection. And a good portion of them, from what I see, it's not all, it looks like a mixed race crowd, if that's of any, just to put it out there. It looks like mixed Caucasian, African American, but still. So I just realized I had these two videos back to back. You know, a story where this girl talked about her father, the police chief, running over people with his police car, sirens on, from 2 years ago. And then it actually happens in Tacoma, Washington. Now, of course, they're not related, but this is how I realized that what this girl said and how it's taken now that this story's out there about this girl saying that, and then you actually see it happen, your perception is that that cop was racist. That cop was, you know, that he has no care or concern, that this is how all cops are. I don't even know, to be honest with you guys. I'm still trying to put this all together in my head. I'm still trying to make sense of this, because I just realized this, how these two videos interlink. They talk about it. One is almost prophetic about the next one, talking about what happens, and then 2 years later it actually happens. And these two videos are back to back. It's blowing my mind. What to get out of it, I don't know. I think all people have to be careful what they say. Now, again, she was only a 13-year-old girl, but did she hear this in the home? Does this represent an underlying theme with the police force? Did the media blow this out of proportion, that it was just a 13-year-old girl trying to impress a 13-year-old boy? And now that it's been blown out of proportion by the media, that 13-year-olds say every day, 13-year-olds say a lot of stupid and ridiculous and hurtful stuff every single day, pretty much every 13-year-old. But now that this has been put out there, this girl in the media giving it that much attention, does it alter? Is it going to alter the way we look at Tacoma, Washington now? A lot of questions, and I don't have the answers. I'm still trying to digest this too. These two videos were back to back. I just realized in my feed. Let me know what you think. You know, it's an interesting juxtaposition, or not even just a coincidence. I don't even know what to call it. I'm almost speechless. Check it out. My last two videos before this one. All right, you guys have a good Monday. I'll be back later after I process this.